save every one of us.
Hello there, welcome to my first video coming out of my new recording software. This will be my first actual helpful Tap Titans guide. I had a request to start going through genuine guides for the game. I am far from the font of all knowledge when it comes to Tap Titans 2. I'm actually just a brainless face that regurgitates shit he's read somewhere while sitting on the fence shitting on both sides. Anyway, we'll start with splashing, an essential tool in surviving Tap Titans 2 without going insane. Lemm has this exact guide, but more eloquently written and slightly more verbose, as they put it. I've linked it in the description, have a read. Alright, we'll crack straight into some terminology, as this is what causes a lot of confusion. Splashing, the act of killing multiple Titans with a single attack. Splash damage. You need splash damage in order to splash. Think overkill damage. You attack a Titan and you hit it for more damage than its HP can take. That extra damage then gets boosted by the pet kit and from the artifact Corrupted Rune Heart, splash damage. Splash count. This is the number of Titans you can directly kill when splashing. Initially you will have your kill and 3 additional splash count. By default you will only splash through regular Titans and not bosses. Sorry. Splash through bosses! Exactly what I just said. It allows your splash count to kill bosses as well and progress seamlessly onto the next stage. This is how you see people jumping through multiple stages in a single attack. There are 4 main build types in this game, and active doesn't count. Each have a means to skip through bosses. Clanship with a point in Aerial Assault, Heavenly Strike with a point in Angelic Radiant, Pet with Lightning Burst, and Shadow Clone with the Ruthless Necromancer Mythic set complete. Splash skip. This is essentially skipping Titans and excluding them from splash. Probably better flipped and called skip splash. Think of it as a temporary intimidating presence, reducing the number of Titans per stage when splashing. This effect is per stage too, so if splash skip is higher than your Titans per stage, you will only encounter bosses and 1 Titan during your splash session. Snap! The little red jug of Kool-Aid Titan. Halves the number of Titans per stage for the next 50 stages. It also allows your splash to skip every Titan in the stage when splashing, so effectively it's just bosses here. With enough splash skip, splash damage, and using a splash through boss's splash damage source, you can splash through as many stages as your splash count, while Snap is active. Oh, you thought we were done? It gets better. Enter Porter, or stage skip. Porter is a boss that uses stage skip to move you forward 50 stages. It's not splashing, it's just moving forward 50 stages. Think teleporting. If you splash a Porter, it will calculate your splash skip and add it to the stage skip and give you epic gains. Multi-spawn. This is when non-boss Titans spawn with several smaller Titans. This isn't really splashing. It's more killing a number of Titans at once and it counts towards your current stage only. With ambush at max, this caps at 20 Titans. They also drop 100% more gold per Titan and if banning mana, 25% more mana per additional spawn. Lightning Burst, a tier 3 skill in the Night Tree, does a special attack that splashes through bosses using pet damage. It also doubles the pet splash skip for a Lightning Burst attack. Coordinated Offensive, tier 3 skill in the Warlord Tree. It fires the clan cannon and summons a homie to attack. Clanship shots fired by activating Coordinated Offensive now have double splash skip. Alright, now we'll go through some examples to try and drum this into your puny brains. Okay, so you're fresh to the game and for some reason, instead of just tapping the screen mindlessly, you actually want to understand it. You want to understand the splash mechanics. You have 1% splash damage, no additional splash count, no extra splash skip. You have 8 Titans per stage. You're sitting at 0 out of 8 killed on the stage. Each Titan has 10 HP. You smack it for 2000 damage. Take the 10 off, that's 1990 overkill damage left. Multiply that by your 1% splash damage, 19.9 damage left. This is what you're going to splash with. This will allow you to splash 1 more stage. Then there's only 9.9, that's not 10, so you fail on the 3rd. Capiche? Congratulations, you just went from 0 out of 8 to 2 out of 8 Titans on your stage. You're a hero. Alright, now you're a big dog. You have 10% splash damage now. No extra splash count though, and no extra splash skip. You're still in the same place smacking little 10 HP Titans, but you hit for 100k. Hit the first, take its 10 HP off your 100k. Multiply that by your 10% splash damage, this leaves 9,999. This means you can skip 999 Titans at 10 HP, right? Wrong. Your splash count is capped at 4 because you are a default pleb. You can only splash 4 Titans and cry. Congrats, you went from 0 out of 8 to 4 out of 8. Alright, in that exact same example, but now you're starting at stage 6 out of 8. What happens? You can't splash through bosses, so you just splash the 2 stages to the boss, then it stops. Alright, now you think you're a mid-game player and you're at like 4k or something? That's not mid-game, by the way. You're getting pretty strong now, so strong that you always have enough splash damage to make your splash count. Got some levels in Aerial Assault, adding 6 to your splash count with your 4 default. that's 10. Nice going. You done some clan quests, you're not useless. So you have some anti-titan cannon, adding an extra 2 splash skip for your clan attacks. Smooth. Alright, you have 6 titans per stage and are sitting at 0 out of 6. You smack it real nasty. Damn, that hurts. Raw power. You kill it and leave crazy splash damage. Enough. That's one of your 10 splash counts gone. Now splash skip activates. It instantly skips 2 titans, taking you from 1 out of 6 to 3 out of 6. That's your skip gone, and there are 3 titans left on the stage. Those 3 titans will eat into your splash count. You have now used 4 out of 10 splash count. 5 out of 10 after beating the boss. Boss is dead, you're onto a new stage. Splash skip reapplies, instantly jumping you to 2 out of 6. 4 more of your splash count to defeat the next 4 titans, and the last of your 10 count to beat the boss too. Again, new stage. Splash skip applies, back to 2 out of 6. Splash count exhausted, that's how far you get. 14 titans, 2 bosses, 16 skipped titans. Nice going. Now I'm not going to go over the end game example, it's the same thing but bigger and including Porter. Porter does not count towards splash count. It is however the boss that starts your splash off, so that's 1 of your count gone. It then teleports you forward 50 stages, commence splash count. If you have Snap on, your Titan count is halved for 50 stages. If you get a Porter, you don't lose that. It carries on at the end of Porter as if that 50 stages never existed. Remember, with Snap, if your splash skip is high enough, you can reduce the required Titan count to 0, so it's just bosses. So each one of your splash count is a new stage. If Snap runs out and your splash count is still high, it'll revert to 1 Titan and the boss. Alright, a couple of helpful things. Remember, bosses have more health than Titans. If you're splashing and getting stuck on a boss, either increase your damage or increase your splash damage. The sweet spot is around 10,000%. Your splash literally hits for way more damage than your initial hit. You'll be able to splash through anything at this point, which is why optimizers never recommend putting just about anything into the corrupted rune heart. You're already gonna splash way too much. Remember, lightning strike is a percentage based reduction. It isn't actually you doing damage, so if you rely on that to progress, you're gonna need to boost your splash damage through the roof, really. As your Titan count increases, splash skip becomes more important than splash count. Obviously, if you're a huge whale with a tiny Titan count, splash count is more important. Try always to have enough splash skip to skip all Titans when Snap is active. Speed is the key. Because your splash damage is actually higher than your regular damage, you can use this to splash past a boss you couldn't otherwise defeat. Managing your splash count to always land on a regular Titan can allow you to use this to advance quite a bit further ahead than you could without splashing. This is called Durandal pushing, and it's dirty. Splash attacks are prioritized by the slash you have equipped. If you're a madman and you're using multiple sources, then the slash one will hit first. Full credit goes to Lemm. This is their guide, read aloud by me with some added abuse. That's really all I've got. I hope it helps. If it does, let me know in the comments. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments, and I'll try and clarify the points that aren't getting through. Until next time.